From deep-lying playmakers to hard-tackling destroyers, these midfield generals might not always grab the headlines, but they're the backbone of every great team. For those of you that have been watching us for a while, you will know that we have been doing this for a long time for different positions, and today we are going to be focusing on the CDM. Same as the previous top 10 list that we've been doing, this is based purely on quality alone. I will let you know how many people actually contributed to this. So, us four that are here, and then there's also Parham, Greg, and Matt as well. So that is 7 people, I believe, in total. Between the 7 of us, like I said, 24 CDMs, okay? As always, we are going to be starting off with our honorable mentions, and then we are going to be going to our top 10 list. We have 4 players that ended up with 1 point, and those players are Wharton.
The fuck, bro? Yo, wrap up the pod, bro.
Bro. What the hell?
GG's.
Fofana,
He's
Cardoso, and Lavia. So Matt had Wharton in at 10. Aris had Fofana in at 10.
Yep.
I had Lavia in at 10. And then Naeem had Cardoso in at 10.
It's not Fofana's fault that Milan's been shit this season. I base it on his quality. I've watched him in Ligue 1. I've watched him for Monaco. He's a class CDM. He did the job again. He's done the job against us numerous times. He's done the job against some of the other teams in the league. So quality-wise, I felt like I had to sneak him in my top 10. Again, you can't penalize him because Milan's been shit. That's not on him.
Bro, Fofana's been just as shit too. Like,
Yeah, but again, that's a whole collective.
Fofana's pretty trash, bro.
A collective team of crap. That's different, all right? And
Ain't no way.
we're not arguing too much about this. Like, fuck.
Ain't no way we're getting rage baited with a 1-pointer, bro, man.
Yeah,
Look, I will always champion my players. I love my club. If I can, I would put him up there, but I just couldn't put him in there. He just had such a bad season.
Again, it's the season, yeah, but I'm basing off of pure quality, and I've seen him in Monaco for years, so I know he has the potential there.
Johnny Cardoso, he's really had a breakthrough season at Betis. I think if we're going to talk about the Antonys or the Iscos, I think he's the shout in there. I thought he was good in the final against Chelsea. He's getting a move to Atletico, I believe, this summer, and deservedly so. He would really fit well in this system, so I thought once to watch, one of the best midfielders in La Liga, in my opinion, and one of the best at Betis, so I have to have him.
I had Romeo Lavia. City, usually their products, they tend to hit. I can't lie. And I think he's going to be another one. I personally rate him more than Caicedo. The only thing is he needs more minutes, but he's been injury plagued, unfortunately. And then we have Wharton that Matt had. Honestly, bro, I don't know why you guys laugh. Wharton is a pretty good player. I like him as a deep-lying playmaker. He's pretty good. We're going to go to 2-pointers, okay? So 4 players ended up with 2 points, okay? Baleba. Parsa had Baleba in at 9. The second player is Bashipe. I'm so sorry I didn't vote for you, brother. But that was Granit Xhaka. Eris had him in at 9th, okay?
Yes, sir.
The other player...
bias, bro.
Crazy. The other player is Palinha. The only person that had Palinha in at 9th was Parham. The last player is Stiller. I had Stiller in at 9. You had Baleba in at 9.
He's young. He's great talent, bro. He's playing in a good team too. I think Brighton has been really exceptional at developing talent. Doesn't stand out too much in terms of passing for me so far, but defensively I think he has some of the best statistics right now in the Premier League. I can just see him develop a lot. He has a high ceiling.
And then Eris, our fellow elbow.
I had to look. The season he had last year with Leverkusen, absolutely amazing. Even this season, he's been decent. He obviously hasn't had the same output as last year. He's still a quality talent, and I thought my 9th and 10th spot are kind of nice shouts. They're not necessarily who everyone might think is the top 10, but for me, it was just a nice shout to have in there.
I had Stiller in there. Really, really like him as a player. Reminds me a little bit of what Kroos does in terms of how he plays. Not the best defensively, obviously, but in terms of ball distribution and stuff like that, he can control the tempo from a deep lying role, which I really like. Might need to invest in a low key ting on the
go to Turkey.
Nose.
Go to Turkey. You can step a pass from a mile away, eh?
Yeah. Because that PR ain't gonna do that many wonders for him, unfortunately, at Madrid. Parham had Palinha in there, and he barely played under company.
Man's not even playing, no.
At Fulham, he was doing a thing. Honestly, he's kind of like a destroyer. He's very good defensively, I would say, but technically wise and stuff like that, he's all right in my opinion. Still in honorable mentions. 2 players ended up with 3 points. So the first player is Pavlovic. I was the only one that had him. The other player, Billy Gilmore. Naeem had Billy Gilmore in at number 8.
Man, everyone talks about Scott McTominay, but they don't really talk about the other Scott that made the move over to Serie A and won the title. Conte, he identified a profile that he wanted, and just there to connect the midfield and defense, fill the pockets of space. He's not there to tackle or do anything crazy, just to keep the flow of the midfield going. Also, not many Serie A DMs that I could find the transfer market, and Gilmore was one of them.
I had Pavlovic in there. I really like what I see from him. He kind of does a little bit of everything, in my opinion. Still needs a little bit more minutes, and yeah, that's basically it. Still honorable mentions, but this player ended up with 4 points.
Andre is not even my name, mate.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Damn.
Eris had him in at 8, and then Greg had him in at 10.
Just watching that Villa team, even against PSG, but also in the Prem, I think think he's been one of the key contributors of that team. Does his job well. He's able to move up forward as well. He's a threat because he's big too. He's tall.
Yeah.
From set pieces, he does play his role very well, and he is able to like cut those passing lanes and like do what he needs to do at that CDM position and like launch the ball forward. So I think he's a class act, and I had to put him up there.
Alrighty, boys. We are going to continue with a player that ended up with 5 points. Okay, Çalhanoğlu.
Terrible shout.
Naeem had him top 5.
That's
I
a
bet.
terrible shout, man. Who the hell had that guy? You guys see what he did in the final?
Okay,
What
so
a piece of shit.
all right, damn, bro. Okay, so only one person had that, brother, in at 6, and that person was
Farhan.
Matt, actually.
No.
God damn.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
our fellow
You
Italian.
can
Fellow
tell
Italian.
it's the free kick hype, bro. It's like with Declan Rice. He scores 2 free kicks, and now, oh
That's
my
the-
God.
That's the
Ballon
Italian
d'Or
bias, bro. You guys got the Albanian
that's
bias.
the
That brother,
Çalhanoğlu
that brother,
stuff, scores
that
free
brother
kick.
probably has someone in the family, Italian family, that is an Interista
Well,
or
he-
something like that, and put
yeah.
Çalhanoğlu in there, you know? Naeem, anything quickly? you
I,
wanna-
I have nothing to add about him. I have nothing good to say. So
Nothing at all.
Bro,
No.
free
Did
kick
you like-
version, that's it.
Did you like it when he was at Milan or no?
No, he was awful at Milan. That's Evie will tell you this too. Like he scored one free kick in his like 4 years here. It was insane. We were all hyped him up like, oh, we got the best free kick taker in the world. Scores one free kick and he just wasn't good at what he did. He was like sending shots to Rosie, misplacing passes. Just a terrible footballer. Like,
Damn.
can we move on from Çalhanoğlu?
Yeah, for sure.
I'm
for
getting
sure,
mad
for sure.
right now.
We are going to move on from Çalhanoğlu, but we are going to be staying in Serie A, and we are going to be staying with a CDM that only one person had this CDM in their list, Lobotka. The only person that had Lobotka
Well,
in their list
Naeem.
is Naeem. He had Lobotka in at 4th. Damn.
Come on, man. I'm telling you guys, if Lobotka was English, if he was French, if he was Spanish, he'd be rated properly. He's a very smart footballer in what he does, man. He's the core of that Napoli team. Like, he dictates the tempo. Like, anyone who watched him, like, last season too. He suffers from that same thing Oblak suffers from. Just, like, you're from one of those nations, so you don't really get, like, much of that spotlight. But I thought he was excellent in the Scudetto season. You know, McTominay gets his flowers, but Lobotka and Anguissa were just as important, I think.
Need from Sky Sports.
Yeah,
the guy saw her, and then he's like, yo.
I got to do it here.
Yeah. This is our last honorable mention. This player ended up with 8 points. Marc Casado. Only 2 people had Marc Casado in their list. Both of them had him in at 7. Parsa and Naeem. You 2 are the only ones that had Marc Casado in their list.
Damn, Cam.
You
Really?
didn't have a bit there, really?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Crazy.
Crazy.
What happened to that Barca
Oh.
PR, bro? We need to
Bro, what the hell?
hype these.
You're
boys.
glazing this, man.
Yeah,
He was very good, yeah. He was very good, bro. But
How about you tell me why you don't have him, bro?
I don't have him because I don't think he's at the level that the other players are. But I think he's a very good player.
He's better than Lavia, in my opinion, bro. Like, to be
Yeah,
honest.
no, I agree with that. Yeah.
I
Like
don't
there's
think
some
so.
people on the list that, like, I don't know. Fair. I mean, to each their
I mean,
own, but
you guys had him, so why'd you have him?
I just think that, like, based on what I saw from the games, and this guy was excellent on all fronts. It doesn't just feel like you have a CDM. You really have an option for progressive passes and building the play forward. Defensively, he's solid too. That boy runs, bro. That boy gives it his all, especially with the way Flick plays. And you really noticed his absence after he left. This was his breakout season, and then boom, gets one of the worst injuries possible. It's gonna be like one of those plays where he's gonna be as important as Petri, in my opinion, to Barca's foundation.
Do you think Casado's better than Zubimendi?
No, I think Zubimendi is better. than
Zubi's
Casado.
better right now, but like ceiling is like different conversation.
I had to pick between Zubimendi or Casado, so I just went with Casado because I think he's the closest thing, Barca have to Sergio Busquets. It's a show I had to give.
Gentlemen, that is a beautiful segue into our top 10 list. Okay, we are officially entering it. And the reason that I say that is, you guys asked me, why did I not have Casado in there? Number 10 is the answer why I did not have Casado in there. I am the only person that had this player in their list.
This brother
Okay,
had Bernal, like something.
I had Marc Bernal in my list. You guys are talking about who's generational, who's going to be making a difference. He is the closest thing that we have to Sergi Busquets. And he got injured 3 games in. With what I seen, that brother is insane. And I'm investing early, okay? Because if we did this, and I mentioned the same thing about Lamine Yamal, you guys would look at me crazy if I did that while I was seeing him for the specific games that I was. We even had a Wonder Kids list, I remember. And a lot of people were like, oh, we only seen Lamine Yamal for a little bit, blah, blah, blah. You can't say this, that. Look what happened. Bernal, I had him in at 2nd. He is going to be the best CDM in the world. I'm very, very thrilled to see how he plays. He was 17. After he comes a little bit back from his ACL, he will be our starter. And Hansi Flick loves him as well. He is up there in terms of generational. He was actually in the same year with Lamine Yamal and Kubarsi, same squad, 2007. He was their captain as well. And they have very, very good things to say. So if you get praise from those 2 brothers, that means that you're very good. You will see what I'm talking about. But he has glimpses of Sergi Busquets that he reminds me. He's like tall and lanky, but like technical and everything. That's the thing. He's like 6'4" or something like that. No more glazing about that, brother. Number 9, gentlemen, with 13 points from a young buck. We are gonna go to a brother that can barely run. We are gonna go to
Don't tell me.
Thomas Partey. Thomas Partey. You thought it was gonna be Casemiro.
Oh my god, bro! I thought it was gonna be Casemiro. I was gonna
Yeah,
rage at you guys.
That's crazy,
Nah, but
man.
we have
That's
Thomas
crazy.
Partey in our list. Okay, at one point, a certain man,
Bro, I knew
in our-
this shit was gonna happen, bro. It was like 3
That's-
Arsenal fans.
a certain man in our pod at one point said that he was the best CDM in the world a couple of years ago or something like that. Only the Arsenal fans had Thomas
Obviously,
Partey
bro.
in their list. Parham had him in at 10. Matt had him in at 8. Greg had Thomas Partey at number 2.
Oh,
According to Greg, Thomas Partey is the second best CDM
my
in the world.
goodness.
only behind a certain player.
Bro,
Thomas Partey.
this is why
Can we
Arsenal
stop
fans
asking
get
Greg?
hate, bro.
Can we stop asking Greg? Like,
Wow.
what the?
Yo, I'm telling you, this is why Arsenal fans get hate, bro. Like
Fuck.
that.
That's crazy.
What
Second
the
best
fuck?
CDM
was
in
crazy.
the world.
It was
That's
crazy, bro.
insane.
He's good. Like I mean, like top. If you put him at 10 or 9, like I don't think there's an issue with that. Like
Didn't that
honestly,
brother
like
didn't that brother take like 50 long throw-ins against us and it did nothing? Like,
yeah.
Crazy. They were saying we only lost the first game because Partey wasn't playing, and then he came
and
back.
then
And,
they
what
got
happened?
dogged. Yeah, exactly. Like, bro, what?
For Thomas Partey is number 8 over someone like Lobotka is like it's just blowing my mind.
To have him second in your list is ridiculous. Look, you could have him 10th or 8th. Have fun. I don't mind. That's not a bad shout. But second?
He's better at
Second
RB,
is-
bro.
Bro, I could probably find 10 better CDMs in like our Sunday
yeah.
league teams
I agree.
than Partey.
Insane. It's actually insane. It's actually insane.
No comment, bro.
fucking
No comment.
crazy, man.
Honestly.
That's
We
actually
gotta move past this one, please.
Yeah, let's move. Let's move
We're not
fast.
even commenting on
Yeah,
this.
yeah, yeah. Funnily enough, we are going to go to another player in the EPL. This player ended up with 18 points. 8th spot, we have Thomas Partey's replacement. We have Zubimendi. Parsa had Zubimendi in at 8. I had Zubimendi in at 5. Parham had Zubimendi in at 6. Greg had Zubimendi in at 9. Matt had Zubimendi in at 9. So, according to both Greg and Matt, Thomas Partey is a better CDM than Zubimendi
That's wild.
as of this moment. I
Yet
guess.
they're replacing.
Exactly, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
that makes no sense.
so they're going against Arteta.
They're going against the king, bro. The king of that team.
Crazy, bro. Crazy against their profit. Zubimendi is a very, very good CDM that reminds me bits and pieces of Busquets. Obviously not to that level, but he has a little bit of that into him. I think he's going to make a very, very good duo with Declan Rice, and I'm excited to see how he does in a different league because he's been at Sociedad since he was a kid. He kind of does a little bit of everything. That's why I had him in at number 5.
Yeah, he's really smart. Could easily be a top 5 player for me personally. The only reason was he's been at Real Sociedad for forever. Kind of want to see him in a different system. Could easily be a top 5 next year if we ask the same question.
Basically came in to sub Rodri in the Euros final, and you didn't even notice that Rodri was gone.
Yeah.
That's how good he was. Number 7, 22 points. A player that Eris loved to glaze. Chouameni. Chouameni ended up in 7. I had him in at 7. Eris had him in at 5. Parsa had him in at 10. Naeem had him in at 9. Parham had him in at 5. Greg had him in at 8. Matt did not have him.
Look, I feel like this season, especially, we tend to forget why he's such a great CDM because he's been playing center back a lot. And at center back, he's been getting exposed because he's not a center back. When we've seen him play at CDM, both for Madrid and before, he's absolutely class. And every time in these defensive stats, whether it's tackles, interceptions, progressive passes, right? He was always in like 95th or 99th percentile in all of these, no matter what. So he does the job well as a CDM. Absolute quality-wise, he is definitely top 5 in the world. We'll see next season when Madrid can actually play him in that position as opposed to having to slot him in at center back.
I agree with that. I rate him more than Camavinga. That's just my personal preference. The only thing is I've noticed kind of like some bozo moments in my opinion.
Yeah.
In terms
He's
of,
low
like,
IQ, bro. That was the thing for me too.
When you're making some of those dumb decisions from the CDM position versus in like the center back position, it looks worse, right? I'm not disagreeing. He does make some dumb decisions, but like if he was making those dumb decisions at CDM versus at CB, it wouldn't be as big of a problem in those games.
I just don't see how he can break out anymore. Like at this point, like the way he plays and everything, like he's versatile. He's great at CDM. He can do it all. I don't know. I feel like there's just something about him to me when I look at him that I'm like, I can't see him being like top 3.
That's fair. That's fair.
I think it'd be tough to have a top 10 DM list and not include Erling Tchouameni. If you look at a Madrid midfield going in the next 2-3 years, I think he's going to be right at the heart of that. He's going to be in that starting lineup. Like taking into consideration, like, he's won the Champions League, he's won La Liga. Like his Madrid CV is heavily up there, like the Supercopa and then the Club World Cup, the Super Cup, whatever. Last season he was pretty mediocre compared to his standards, but like just going like past that, like
He was a big part of those teams that won the Champions League and won the La Liga. He was there. You just have to have him in your list, like regardless of where you put him.
Eris, is he better than better than Pedri?
Different positions, bro. One's a center mid, one's a CDM.
Nah, but remember we used to have the Camavinga Chouameni against Gavi and
Yeah, we
Pedri.
did. Both Kama and Chouameni are better than Gavi. I'm still sticking by that, but Pedri is better than both of the others. So it's
Okay.
Pedri,
So
Chouameni,
it
Kama,
evens
and then
out.
Gavi.
It balances out.
Yeah. I'll admit when I'm wrong. I did it with Declan,
No,
but also,
yeah.
I mean, 2 free kicks and now a Ballon d'Or shouts, bro. Goddamn.
Crazy, bro. And
It's
the
crazy.
team of the year, UCL, bro. Fucking hell,
Yeah,
man. Arsenal
ridiculous.
fans, bro. Arsenal
Yeah.
fans. No,
Oh well.
it is what it is. We're gonna continue in 6th. Okay, this player ended up with 29 points. This player is a veteran, and that player is Joshua Kimmich. I had him in at 6. Eris had him in at 7. Parsa had him in at 6. Parham had him in at 8. Naeem did not have him. Greg had him in at 7. Matt had him in at 3. Yeah, so Naeem is the only one that did not have
Bro,
Joshua
it's-
Kimmich.
It's not that I don't rate him. It's just he plays right back for half the time. So it's like
Yeah, but I mean, like that's
I-
the same thing with like Philip Lahm. You know what I mean? Like he was the heir to Philip Lahm for
Like if
Bayern.
you're gonna play right back half the time, it's like I'm not gonna put you in my DM list, but
Yeah,
I would.
Chouameni was playing CB, bro, half the
Yeah.
time. So
It just
got a point.
matters with, like, yeah.
Okay, but throughout Kimmich's career, like he can. I think it's
he
actually
started
a
at
credit
right
to
back.
him.
Yeah. Okay, when he
Yeah,
broke
it's a
into
credit to
Bayern,
him.
he
Like you
started
can
at
see
right
the
back,
transition
but now-
between the two.
Yeah, like he swapped to CDM, and he's been doing that role
Yeah.
pretty well. If you look at it, like what is he now? He's 30, right? Like we forget, like he's been around for so long that we forget, like he's not technically that old yet.
that's like the difference between Chouameni and Kimmich for me. It's like this guy can go back and forth between RB and CDM. He's been doing it for years and he's excellent at it. It's like he doesn't even notice. Like it's completely
Yeah.
different positions, like RB and CDM. But then you have someone like Chouameni where it's like extremely talented, still young, has that versatility, but I don't think like he has that footy IQ to be like one of the elites that someone like Kimmich has. I think he's still deserving of a top 10. That's why I had him like 6. I don't think he's good enough for a top 5. Like now with like the competition and the youngsters that are coming in, but yeah.
Passionate as well, true leader. Honestly, can do a little bit of everything, bro. Like he can score bangers, he can assist. Legend of the game. We are going to be entering our top 5. This player ended up with 36 points. He's one of the most improved players in the EPL. That player is Ryan Gravenberch. Okay, only one person did not have Gravenberch in their list. I will let you know who that person is.
That's crazy,
okay?
bro. Not having him is honestly crazy, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like with Liverpool winning.
If it's Greg, bro, and he had Partey at 2, it discards this.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No,
It's
I
discarded.
agree.
his list.
Have Partey at 2 and not have
That's-
Gravenberch is like the ultimate
wild.
disrespect.
Yeah, that's wild.
Parsa had him in at 5. Eris had him in 4. Parham had him 7. Greg had him in at 6. Naeem had him in at 1. Matt had him in at 7. I was the one that didn't have Gravenberch in there, bro.
Whoa, how?
That's insane.
I don't know. I just like the other players more, bro. I really like
Yeah, that's fair,
Gravenberch.
that's fair.
I really like Gravenberch, and I liked him when he was at Bayern as well. And people were like, "Yo, this guy's flopping." I just like the other players more. Like they're more my type of players. But I really rate Gravenberch. He was like 11 for me, if I'm being honest with you. I see him more as a CM, so maybe that kind of impacted my
That's fair. Yeah.
my thinking
he
a
is
little bit.
CM, yeah.
Because if you
Um,
at least in the Ajax days, like because I rate him so highly from the Ajax days before he even went to Bayern.
Yeah.
He was
Yeah.
a center mid, and he was a box to box if anything. I really rate him highly, and I get what you mean. Like yeah, he's more of a center mid than a CDM, but because he's been playing that CDM role, like
Fair enough.
and he's flourished at Liverpool, right? Like I know he had like
Yeah.
off seasons at Bayern. He came back and he's delivering on that promise that he had when he was an Ajax teenager. So
But in terms of like quality, I really like him, bro. Like I said, like
He's the best in the world, man. I honestly think he is. So my list was based off like recency bias a bit. To be the best midfielder in the best team in the Premier League, that says a lot about you. Do any of you here disagree that Gravenberch is the best midfielder in that Liverpool team? I mean, McAllister
between him and
center-
McAllister's
McAllister,
better, in my
between him and
opinion.
McAllister,
I prefer
Yeah.
McAllister personally.
McAllister.
But we can all
out
agree
of it.
Sobos is the third one. though.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
those
Yeah,
guys still
so-
there.
I mean, he's getting replaced, bro.
But also,
We're talking-
Sobo was an attacking mid. McAllister and Gravenberch are more central.
Yeah,
mids
yeah, no,
and, like,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know,
Yeah.
So it's different roles.
Just the tackles he's made throughout the season, he's a big part of, he's covered in for that midfield and just made the tackles and interceptions and whatever and helped them towards that title. So just based off this season, for me, he's the best in the world.
I've rated him since his Ajax days, where he was an absolute class star.
Yeah.
When he went to Bayern, again, I bought into that hype. I was like, oh, he's gonna be amazing. Bayern
Yeah,
got
yeah,
like
me
one for the
too.
future. Yeah, he did kind of flop a bit there. Unfortunate, right? Reinvented
Mhm.
himself at Liverpool, won a league title, been amazing. Can't say too much more, so I had to have him up there.
I couldn't put him too high because just one season that I've seen him be really excellent. If he continues this form, bro, yeah, like what's stopping him from being number 1?
Gentlemen, we are going to continue to number 4. The player that ended up in 4 ended up with 44 points. Moises Caicedo ended up in 4th. Eris had him in at 6. Parsa had him in at 2. Naeem had him in at 5. Parham had him in at 2. Greg had him in at 3. Matt had him in at 4. I did not have him in my list.
Damn. After
Lavia
all
over
days that you
Caicedo.
gave
No,
him,
Lavia
that's
over Caicedo.
No,
brutal.
no, at this point I can't, bro. I can't take this
Lavia
seriously.
over Caicedo
I
is
said that in the
wild.
beginning, bro. I said
No,
that I
no, no,
prefer
no.
him over Caicedo. So if I had Lavia at my 10,
Bro, no,
where
I
would
can't,
Caicedo
I
be?
can't, I
Do the
can't.
math. Quick math.
I can't, bro. Why?
He's very good. He's very
Dude,
good, bro. But
Chelsea's player of the year is still young.
yeah, so
What do you mean, bro? This guy was more important than Palmer, who was like ripping shit up for these guys.
yeah, but Palmer dipped this year. Caicedo was very good, bro. Caicedo was very good.
He's one of those players that I feel like would be in everyone's list, even if it's at a 10th place.
Yeah,
Especially because
I
he is
think-
proving that price tag. Like, I know
Yeah.
that price tag was massive when he first came, but like he's starting to slowly prove that it was worth it.
I agree with that. I agree with that. I just think Lavia is more complete. I think Lavia has more to his game in terms of going forward as well, helping out with that. Whereas Caicedo is like a monster in terms of defense. That's the way that I see it. But honestly, interchangeable, bro.
This was I thought he had like a stinky performance in the beginning. Like I was like making fun of all the Chelsea fans on like how much they spent on him. But bro, he's proving his worth. He was excellent at Brighton. He's doing the same thing here. I think he's just such a solid player to have in your CDM. Defensively, he's a beast. Boy's got an engine on him, and even going forward, bro, like it's not bad. Like I don't think it's not like Ugarte that Eris threw at us.
Really finessed these boys out of we finessed them out of money, and we ended up buying a player that's gonna come up in this list.
Best CDM in the EPL for the year, in my opinion, too, without Rosary being there. I think it's only upwards from here for him at Chelsea. Chelsea's got a very exciting team, bro. Unfortunately, like so many teams, like Newcastle, Chelsea, so many teams are looking so great right now. I think that Chelsea team's going to be fighting for the title in like 3 years.
When they first signed him, I thought that's ridiculous. Same with the Declan price. I was like, that's ridiculous for these players.
Only
like,
you guys can spend money, bro.
Yeah, but we're spending it efficiently now. If you look at our team,
Gonzalo Ramos?
Hey,
Colomani?
Yeah,
don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. Listen,
Yeah.
and also these players have been shipped off, whether it be loans or sold. And also Gonzalo Ramos, look, he got injured, but like he's been a great sub.
You gotta let that go, bro.
Great sub.
A
That
sub
one's
for
fine.
60 mil is
It's
not
wild.
normal, bro.
You gotta let that
I'll be
go.
honest with you.
That's
normal?
really not.
A sub for
After-
60 mil,
After
bro?
this, I'm gonna go look at some transfers and see if I can find some subs from other teams.
It actually took up until number 3 for us to have a player that all of us had in our list then, okay? This player ended up with 47 points. Bruno Guimaraes.
What a player.
So
Okay.
good,
He'd be
bro.
higher.
Underrated.
I had him in at 3rd. Parsa had him in at 4. Parham had him in at 4 as well. Eris had him in at 3rd. Naeem had him in at 6. Greg had him in at 5. Matt also had him in at 5.
Look at what Newcastle's done this year. I don't think any of that's possible without him. Respectfully.
Yeah.
Don't get me
Yeah.
wrong, they have a great team. Without Bruno, I don't see them like getting that top 5 spot. I don't see them getting the Champions League qualification. Also, a little bit of personal bias, a Lyon boy came from Liga and made it in the Prem.
Yeah.
Like I love when I see that. I love when I see the Liga talents making it in the Prem because it kind of like shits on the Prem bias. Oh, but can he do it in a cold, wet night in Stoke? Yes, he can. He's proven that he can do it constantly.
Crazy.
I love the guy. I think he's absolutely amazing, and I'm glad that Newcastle did get the Champions League qualification spots because that means that he'll be staying. Isaac will be staying. They won't lose too much of their team or their core. Like, let's see, what else they can win.
This guy's a complete footballer. I can't lie. Like, he does a little bit of everything. Him and Tonani as well. Both of them can do a little bit of everything. Interchange between both of them. CDM, CM, whatever you want. Technical, clutch, passion, dribbles, shoots, scores, assists, tackles, does everything. Not much more you want from your CDM. Brazilian flair,
That was why he was so high for me too.
We are going to go to our top 2. Second spot, 56 points. We have Joao Neves.
UCL tax, bro.
UCL tags, bro. That brother dogged Arsenal. I don't know. And he did work against the Prem teams.
Crazy, but he didn't do it against United though.
He was United is the thing. United lost the Super Cup on purpose, so they wouldn't have to play us.
Crazy. Eris had him in at 2. I had him in at 4. Parsa had him in at 3. Naeem had him in at 3. Parham had him in at 3. Greg had him in at 4. Matt had him in at 2.
Slotted into that midfield and created that amazing trio of Fabian Ruiz, Vitinha, and himself. All interchangeable, can all play DM, can all play center mid, can all move up forward when it comes to like playing as like a cam if they need to. Absolute class, protects that back line, is able to launch balls forward, does the job of a CDM perfectly. I don't remember if it was the first or the second leg. I just remember watching some of those clips where he's just bodying fucking Declan, bro. And Declan is like 6 foot something. Joao is like tiny. Like, how are you getting bodied by this midget, bro? Like, come on. We'll see how the World Cup goes. But I feel like if Ronaldo doesn't ruin that Portuguese team, that Portuguese core with the midfield, the left backs, and just the attack, I could see them going far in the World Cup if they're able to replicate kind of what they do at PSG there.
They don't have Luis Enrique, brother. They
I mean,
have
that is
who the
true.
fuck is it?
They
Roberto
still have
Martinez.
Roberto Martinez, but if they do, it's over.
Yeah.
Yeah, never mind. Okay. They need to fire him. If they fire Roberto Martinez, bring in a proper coach, able to replicate that form, I think Portugal will be an actual like powerhouse in the World Cup for 2026. Yeah, he's just amazing. Absolute class.
There's one stat for Jean Neves that I really want to highlight is he's made 57 tackles, which is the most out of any player in the Champions League season. And then here this tracks back like a couple of years. So he's the only player to make 50 plus tackles since someone in 2008. So Mascherano did it in 07-08. And then you have Gattuso 2007 and then 2008 as well. And then for number 5, Jean Neves is up there with like some of the greats of the game. He's been one of the players of the tournament. So just incredible, man.
The fact that this was his first breakout campaign with PSG Like, the sky's the limit for this kid.
They were raving about him at Benfica as well. But the thing with Benfica is those
The
brothers
Benfica
have
tax is hard.
kind of
yeah.
scam mans. I can't lie sometimes. But yeah, no, João Neves, bro, very, very good player. Love him. Complete as a CDM as well. He's so small, but so good. I don't know, man. I personally like him more than Vitinha, if I had to pick one.
Did you guys see these celebrations for like the Champions League where he comes out and he does a backflip?
He does the speed.
That brother is agile, bro, and he's got that athleticism, so that's nice.
Alright, bro. Yeah, this guy wants him in the sheets. Relax.
Blazing,
Chill,
bro.
bro.
It's crazy, bro. This guy said he's flexible, bro.
Yo, stand up for
That's
me. Let me check
crazy.
something.
Well, you want to see the sponsor? Is that what you're looking for?
We are going to go to number one. We probably know who number one is with 69 points. That's a good number.
Nice.
Is none other than the Ballon d'Or winner, Rodri. Everyone, bar Naeem, had him in at number one. Undisputed. Like, not much to say about Rodri, bro. He's been injured for the last year or so, unfortunately. Hopefully, he gets back to his maximum level when he's back. This year proved how vital he is to City as well.
Jasper's favorite player. The City's performance was kind of like a testament to his importance to that team. I think if Rodri was healthy this whole season, City could have fought for the title. He's so hard to replace. Like, City did try to replace him, I feel like. They did bring in some recruits. They did bring some players to bolster the mid, but no one can carry out what Pep requires in that midfield other than someone at his caliber, I think. And with KDB kind of just like falling off, bro. Like, this guy,
Why is he catching straight, bro?
I don't know. I'm just saying, it's like, football's such a cruel game, man. Like, you see like someone who, like, even up to last year is like incredible, and then suddenly we're just out of nowhere. It's like, boom, he can't even shoot straight. So with KDB falling off, his presence was even more important, and he wasn't there this year for them.
The fact that like what he does with protecting that backline and also launching balls forward to be able to like spring those attacks, that was severely missed. And like two games I want to highlight is the two ties against Madrid. They got absolutely exposed by Madrid. I think if Rodri's there, healthy Rodri, he can protect that backline. And I don't think that scoreline's the way it is. And I feel it's a way more tighter game, and City could, I'm not saying they will go through, but it's a possibility that they could have gone through.
He didn't play as much this season. Again, my list was going off of recency. I think he would play like 2 or 3 games. Obviously, there's an injury there. So that's why like I really like Gravenberch more this season. So I had him one. But if Rodri played and he was fit, he's 100% number one for me. And City really suffered without him. Everyone saw that this season. And obviously, like, you have to have the Ballon d'Or winner, number one or number two, whatever. But he just didn't play as much. So pegged him down to 2.
There you guys have it. That was our top 10 CDMs in the world. Like we said, it is based off of the overall quality that we think these CDMs have. Let us know what you guys think of our list. Let us know if we forgot anyone. As always, like, share, and subscribe. Until then, we will catch you guys on the next episode. Take it easy.